Hello everyone. Today I am going to discussing about the antipsychotic drug and their mechanism of action. So before that, we have to get little bit knowledge about the what are the psychotic syndrome and what is the basic pathophysiology and what is the etiology and what are the drug we are using, the classification of the drug and their mechanism of action and, and their therapeutic application. So let's start. The psychopharmacological agent or psychotropic drug are those having the primary effect on psyche. Psyche means mental processes and are used for the treatment of the psychiatric disorder. So suppose if we are considering the symptom of mental illness which mainly characterized by the distort or non-existence sense of the reality like hallucination, delusions, disorganized speech, disorganized or agitated behavior. Then there is mood disorder, major depression or mania with psychotic feature, substance induced psychosis, dementia with the psychotic feature, delirium with psychotic feature, and then there is schizophrenia. So psychosis, what the word psychosis it does mean? These are the basically severe psychiatric illness with serious distortion of the thought, you thought distortion, which not really exist in the world, and your behavior and capacity to recognize the reality, and you are unable to recognize the real what is the real thing going in and around you, and perception, delusions and hallucination. This is inexplicable misperception and misevaluation. The patient is unable to meet the ordinary demand of life. So in this condition we are mentally unable to recognize our surrounding, so we are in a process of delusions and hallucination that is not exist in the reality, and there is misperception and we are misevaluating with our surrounding, and the patient that's why the patient is unable to meet the ordinary demand of the life. So in that psychic patient, they are due to this condition they are unable to meet the ordinary demand, or they are unable to meet the daily requirement or daily demand of their life. Now if we come to the types, acute and chronic organic brain syndrome, that is cognitive disorder, then functional disorder, that is schizophrenia, paranoid state, and mood disorder, mania and depression. So acute and chronic organic brain syndrome, which basically associated with the delirium and dementia, cases exposure to the toxic substances or due to the some pathological changes in the brain. Prominent feature are confusion, disorientation, defective memory and disorganized behavior. Then functional disorder, that the underlying cause is not still understood properly, but there is a memory and orientation are mostly retained, that is associated with the emotion, thought, reasoning and behavior are seriously altered or affected of an particular individual. And then mood disorder, some person having the some manic and depression, mania is like that you are believing something that is not really exist, but before you doing some activity or something you will try to do that type of the activity, that is we call mania. And depression, if there is certain excitement or normal activity in your life are not fulfilled, then you are not withdrawal from you the society and other environment, that will associated with the depression. Now schizophrenia, it is the most common psychic disorder. Schizophrenia is a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Means the people which are schizophrenic, they interpret the reality in abnormal way. If some normal individual, what happen in and around in that particular individual, he will normally interpret that particular thing, but in schizophrenic patient they are interpret the reality in abnormally. Schizophrenia may result in the some combination of hallucination, delusions and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impair the daily functioning and can be disabling. Then we have paranoid state. Paranoid state is a term that cover a number of different disorder in which persecutory and uh, grandiose ideas and delusions constitute a significant part of the symptom. The most important are those conditions that are now generally accepted as being member of the group of schizophrenia. Then mania is an abnormally elevated mood state characterized by the such symptom as inappropriate elation, increased irritability, severe insomnia, uh, gradius notions, increased speed and or volume of the speech, disconnected and racing thought, and increased sexual desire, markedly increased energy and activity level, poor judgment and inappropriate social behavior. A mild form in mania that does not require hospitalization is termed as hypomania. Mania that also features symptom of depression, agitated depression, is called mixed mania. Now depression. Depression is a common and serious mental illness that negatively affect how you feel, the way you think and how you act. Means it alter your thinking level, it's alter your activity level and it's also alter your feeling level. Fortunately, it is also treatable. Depression causes feeling of sadness and loss of interest in the activities once enjoyed. It can lead to the variety of the emotional and physical problem and can decrease a person's ability to function at work or at home. Then there is anxiety disorder from a category of mental health diagnosis that leads to excessive nervousness, fear, apprehension and worry. Phobic state. A phobia is a type of anxiety disorder that causes an individual to experience extreme irritational fear about a situation, living creature, place or object. Then there is obsessive compulsive disorder. It's a mental illness that causes the repeated unwanted thought of sensation or the urge to do something over and over again. Some people can have both obsession and compulsion also. Then there is situational depression, is a short term stress related type of depression. It can develop after you experience a traumatic event or a serious event. Now we come to the etiology. What is the cause behind the development of this psychological disorder? First one is genetic. You may have genes for it, but it does not mean that you always develop the psychosis or psychiatric syndrome, but it plays an important role in the development of the psychosis. So positive family history and genetic abnormalities also plays an important role in the development of the psychiatric disorder. Then there is some drug trigger the include of the prescription medication and abuse of the alcohol drug like marijuana, LSD and amphetamine, and some other also drug is available which are also responsible for the development of the drug induced psychosis. Then trauma, the death of loved one, sexual assault or a war can lead to the psychosis. This type of the trauma and the age you were when it happened also plays an important role. And then there is injuries and illness, traumatic brain injuries, brain tumors, stroke, Parkinsonism disease, Alzheimer disease, dementia, and HIV also can bring or develop the psychosis syndrome. These are the etiology of the psychiatric disorder. Then we come to the pathophysiology. So first, number one, you can see that there is a prefrontal cortex where too little dopamine release result in the negative syndrome. Then there is number two, nucleus accumbens, too much dopamine release causes the positive syndrome. Then number third, that is the dopamine neuron that carry over the signal from the brainstem to the midbrain and perforated cortex. Then there is glutamate neuron, carry the excitatory signal over both long and short distance. And then there is GABA, that is the inhibitory neuron that maintain the overall activity. So in left hand side you can see that in normal healthy brain what happened, GABA basically inhibit the excessive release of the dopamine, and GABA also control the release of the glutamate. So it will maintain the excitation inhibition in normal condition. But in schizophrenic or psychotic disorder you can see that GABA that is blocked or GABA that is not interfere in the glutamate and dopamine level. So glutamate, it is excitatory, and dopamine, which is also responsible for the positive syndrome. So this both are secreted in much more amount and develop the psychiatric syndrome. Circulatory of dopamine, glutamate and GABA neurotransmitter. Comparison between healthy and a schizophrenic circulatory between the three neurotransmitter. In schizophrenia, GABA is decreased while glutamate and dopamine level is increased. This imbalance give rise to the hypoactive and hyperactivity in the prefrontal cortex and nucleus accumbens respectively. So this is the one concept. Then another one concept, you can see that amygdala and hippocampus, then there is thalamus, then there is perforated cortex, then there is associative striatum. So what happened, amygdala and hippocampus that will responsible for the perception and emotion, that will stimulate the thalamus, and perforated cortex which will also influence the thalamus, and thalamus also influence the perforated cortex. And there is dopamine D1 and D2 pathway in dopamine that will activate the thalamus. Okay. So if there is a overactivation of the thalamus, it insight and responsible for the insight and expression, which will activate the associative striatum. This associative striatum will be responsible for the development of the psychotic syndrome. Dysfunction in variety of the brain region can elicit psychotic syndrome. A primarily circuit involved in psychosis include the thalamus and perforated cortex feeding into the associative striatum. Alternation in the thalamus in prefrontal cortex are involved in hallucination and also inside the delusional symptom. Expression of the psychotic symptom in most cases require increased activity of the associative striatum and specifically excessive D2 receptor stimulation, that is dopamine D2, that is indicated by red color. Other limbic regions such as hippocampus and amygdala can feed into this circuit, contributing to altered sensory perception and emotional context. So these are the pathophysiological condition of the psychiatric disorder or psychiatric schizophrenic disorder. So what are the symptom? For first you will feel the difficulty in concentration, then there is depress your mood, and then there is sleeping disorder, then you feel anxiety, then you may develop suicidal thought, and you will disorganized, you cannot organize yourself properly, then you will feel the hallucination, delusions, and withdrawal from the family and friend, and suspiciousness, then you will develop depression, and you also develop the disorganized speech. So these are the psychosis symptom. So now we come to the antipsychotic drug. Antipsychotic drug, this also known as neuroleptic or major tranquilizer, are used primarily to treat the schizophrenia, a biologic illness, but they are also effective in other psychotic state, including the manic state with psychotic symptoms such as uh, grandiosity, paranoid and hallucination and delusions. Antipsychotic drugs are not curative and do not eliminate the chronic thought disorder, but they often decrease the intensity of the hallucination and delusions and permit a person with schizophrenia to function in supportive environment. So these drugs are not totally curative, they will only provide you the support to adjust with the environment and maintain your normal healthy lifestyle. So now we come to the classification. First, phenothiazine, aliphatic side chain, piperidine side chain, piperazine side chain, aliphatic side chain, chlorpromazine, triflupromazine, and piperidine side chain, uh, thioridazine and piperazine side chain, trifluperazine and flufenazine. Then butyrylphenonase, haloperidol, trifluoroperidol, these are the drug. Then there is uh, thioxanthines, flupentixol, other heterocyclics, primozide, loxapine, these are the drug. Then there is atypical antipsychotic, clozapine, risperidone, olanzapine, these are the zotipine, these are the drug are so these are the classification of the antipsychotic drug. Now pharmacologically, how we can classify this antipsychotic drug? Pharmacologically, we classify this drug into the two segments, that is first generation and second generation. First generation, further we divide into the low potency and high potency. So first generation antipsychotic, low potency, chlorpromazine, prochlorpromazine. Then first generation antipsychotic, high potency, haloperidol, primozide, thiothixine, these are the drug. And second generation antipsychotic these are the aripiprazole, clozapine, olanzapine, risperidone, these are the drug. So pharmacologically we are also divided the drug into the different categories. So most mechanism of action of antipsychotic drugs. So here you can see that dopamine, where it is synthesized in the presynaptic cleft, then it is released bind to the D1 receptor, D2 receptor, and then it will activate the CMP, then it will activate the IP3 DAG pathway, and ultimately it will activate the calcium. Then it will also act on the D3 receptor, and there is A2 adenosine receptor is there, it will also here, and there is DAT, then that will responsible for the dopamine transporter, that will responsible for the reuptake of the dopamine. Then there is monoamino oxidase, that will degradation of the dopamine into the presynaptic cleft. So this red color one, these are the antipsychotic drug, and lithium and antipsychotic drug which are mainly act on the binding to this particular site. Dopamine interact with both postsynaptic receptor and presynaptic autoreceptor. Termination of dopamine action occur primarily by the reuptake into the presynaptic terminal via the DAT, that secondarily deamination by the mitochondrial monoamino oxidase MAO. Stimulation of postsynaptic D1 receptor activate the GS adenyl cyclase, that is CMP. and pathway, and D2 receptor coupled through the GI to the inhibit adenyl cyclase pathway, but it will act through the GQ to activate the phospholipase kinase and IP3 pathway, IP3 calcium pathway, and activation of the GI pathway can also activate the potassium channel and leading to the hyperpolarization. So these are the antipsychotic drug, how they bind to this receptor and they will inhibit the psychotic syndrome which will associated in our brain. So dopamine is the main neurotransmitter which will basically involve into the development of the psychiatric syndrome or psychotic syndrome. Now LI inhibit the phosphate that liberate the inositol from the inositol phosphate. So there is no calcium in picture, you can see that it will block the calcium, so there is no excitation. LI can also inhibit the depolarization, evoke release of the dopamine and noradrenaline, but not 5-hydroxytryptamine. D2 like autoreceptor suppression synthesis of the dopamine by diminishing phosphorylation of the rate limiting tyrosine hydroxylase and by limiting the dopamine release. So by binding to the antipsychotic drug D2, they will also inhibit the decrease the synthesis and also inhibit the release of the dopamine. In contrast, presynaptic A2 adenosine receptor activate the ACCMP protein kinase pathway, thereby enhancing the tyrosine hydroxylase activity. So if you block the A2R receptor, it will also inhibit the dopamine synthesis and release. All antipsychotic agent act and at the D2 receptor and autoreceptor. Some also block the D1 receptor. Stimulant agent inhibit the dopamine reuptake by the DET, thereby prolonging the DOL time of synaptic dopamine. Initially in antipsychotic treatment, dopamine neurons release more amount of the dopamine, but following repeated treatment they enter a state of the psychological depolarization inactivation with diminished production and release of the dopamine. In addition to the continued receptor blocked inhibition or blocked, that is positive elevation of the activity, and negative, that is the reduction of the activity. So this is the overall thing about the antipsychotic drug. Now mechanism of action of chlorpromazine, they basically act as a antagonist on the different postsynaptic receptor on dopaminergic like subtype D1, D2, D3 and D4 different antipsychotic receptor on productive and unproductive symptoms. On serotonergic receptor 5-HT1 and 5-HT2 with anxiolytic, antidepressive and anti-aggressive properties as well as attenuation of the extrapyramidal side effect. Chlorpromazine is an weak presynaptic inhibitor of the dopamine reuptake, which may lead to the mild antidepressive and Parkinsonism effect. This action could also account for the psychomotor agitation and amplification of the psychosis, very rarely noted in the clinical use. So here you can see that there are different receptor, cholinergic muscarinic receptor, alpha adrenergic receptor, dopamine receptor, serotonin receptor and anti H1 histamine receptor. So these are the different psychotic drug, clozapine, risperidone, chlorpromazine, and so these are the drug particularly bind to the this type of the receptor, and they will produce different pharmacological action in our body and also relief from the psychotic symptom. So here we describe chlorpromazine as a prototype drug. So in CNS, effect is different in normal and psychotic individual. If in normal patient are taking the chlorpromazine, the effect is different, but in psychotic patient taking the chlorpromazine, the effect is different. In normal individual, chlorpromazine indifference to the surrounding, poetic of thought, psychomotor slowing, emotional quieting, reduction in the initiative and tendency to the go up to the sleep, spontaneous movement are minimized, but slurring of the speech, ataxia or motor in coordination does not occur. In normal individuals, CPZ produces neuroleptic syndrome and is quite different from the sedative action of barbiturate. But in psychotic patient, chlorpromazine reduces the irritational behavior, agitation and aggressiveness and control the psychotic symptomatology. Uh, Disturbed thought and behavior are gradually normalized, anxiety is relieved, hyperactivity, hallucination and delusions are suppressed. All phenothiazine, uh, thioxanthins and butyrophenones have the same antipsychotic effect, but potency differ in terms of the equi-effective doses. The sedative effect is produced promptly while antipsychotic effect takes weeks to develop. Moreover, tolerance develops to the sedative but not the antipsychotic effect. Extrapyramidal motor disturbance are uh, intimately linked to the antipsychotic effect, but are more prominent in the high potency compounds and are least in uh, thioridazine, clozapine and other atypical antipsychotic. Chlorpromazine lower the seizure threshold and can precipitate fits in untreated epilepsy condition. Temperature control is knocked off at relatively higher doses, rendering the individual poikilothermic body temperature fall if surroundings are cold. In ANS, neuroleptic have varying degree of alpha adrenergic blocking activity, which may be graded as triflupromazine is CPZ is equal to triflupromazine, that is equal to thioridazine, and which will clozapine is greater than thioridazine, and fluphenazine, that is greater than clozapine, and then haloperidol, and then ultimately pimozide. Anticholinergic property of the neuroleptic is weak. The phenothiazine have weak H1 antihistaminic and anti 5-HT action as well. As a local anesthetic, chlorpromazine is a potent local anesthetic as procaine. However, it is not used for this purpose because it is due to its irritation action. Other antipsychotic drugs have weaker or no membrane stabilizing action. Effect on sleep, antipsychotic drugs have inconsistent effect on sleep pattern but tend to normalize sleep disturbance characteristics of many psychosis and manic patient. Cardiovascular system, neuroleptic produce hypotension by a central as well as peripheral action on sympathetic tone. The hypotensive action is more marked after the parental administration and rarely parallel that alpha adrenergic blocking potency. Hypotension is not prominent, it may occur after the chronic use. Reflex tachycardia accompanies hypotension. High doses of chlorpromazine directly depress the heart and produce the ECG changes, QT prolongation and suppression of the T wave. CPZ exerts some antiarrhythmic action, probably due to the membrane stabilizing action. Arrhythmia may occur in overdose, especially with thioridazine. In skeletal muscle, neuroleptic have no effect on the muscle fiber or neuromuscular transmission. They reduce certain type of the spasticity. The site of action being in the basal ganglia or medulla oblongata, spinal reflex are not affected. Endocrine, neuroleptic consistently increase the prolactin release by the blocking the inhibitory action of dopamine on pituitary. lactotropes. This may result in the galactorrhea and glynecomastitis, and kidney decrease the release of the antidiuretic hormone may result in an increase in the urine volume. A direct action on kidney tubules may add to it, but sodium excretion is not affected. Though in general antipsychotic drugs do not affect the blood sugar level, CPZ and few other have the potential to the impair glucose tolerance or aggravate diabetes as well as elevated serum triglycerides. This is often associated with the weight gain, which may be causative factor along with the attenuation of insulin resistance. Pharmacokinetics. Some antipsychotic drugs have erratic and unpredictable pattern of the absorption after oral administration. Parenteral administration increase the bioavailability of the active drug 4 to 10 fold. Most antipsychotic drugs are highly lipophilic, highly membrane or protein bound, and accumulate in the brain, lung and other tissue with a rich blood supply. They also enter the fetal circulation and breast milk. It is virtually impossible and usually not necessary to remove this agent by dialysis. Volume of distribution is large, 20 liter per kg, and metabolized in liver by the CYP2D6, and elimination T-half is variable 80 to 30 hour. Tolerance to the sedative and hypotensive action develop within day or week. So the adverse effects are weight gain, fall in blood pressure, hypotension, sedation, ejaculation difficulties, reflex tachycardia, vertigo, hypersalivation, dry mouth, obstipation, difficulty in and inability to urinate, and sinus tachycardia, ECG changes and loss of memory. Therapeutic uses. This medication is used to treat the certain mental or mood disorder such as schizophrenia, psychotic disorder, manic phase of the bipolar disorder, severe behavioral problem in children. Chlorpromazine help you to the think more clearly, feel less nervous and take part in the everyday life. It can reduce the aggressive behavior and the desire to hurt yourself or other. It may also help to the decrease hallucination, hearing and seeing the things that are not there. Chlorpromazine is a psychiatric medication that belongs to the class of drug called phenothiazine antipsychotic. It works by helping to restore the balance of the certain natural substance in the brain. Chlorpromazine is also used to control the nausea, vomiting, relieve prolonged hiccups, relieve restlessness, anxiety before surgery, and help to treat the tetanus. Then other antipsychotic drug which I am discussing in short, trifluoropromazine, aliphatic phenothiazine, more potent than the CPZ, used mainly as the antiemetic. Thioridazine, a low potency phenothiazine having the market central anticholinergic action, risks of the eye damage and limits long term use. Trifluoroperazine, these are the high potency piperazine side chain phenothiazine. They have minimum autonomic action and causes jaundice. Haloperidol, it is the potent antipsychotic with a pharmacological profile resembling that of the piperazine substitute phenothiazines. And trifluperidol, it is similar to but slightly more potent than the haloperidol. Penfluridol, it is exceptionally long acting neuroleptic recommended for the chronic schizophrenia. Flupentixol, infrequently used now. Pimozide, it is a specific dopamine antagonist with the little alpha adrenergic and cholinergic blocking activity. It has been particularly used Gilles de la Tourette syndrome and tics. And loxapine, dibenzoxapine having the CPZ like dopamine blocking and antipsychotic activity. So now we come to the atypical or second generation antipsychotic drug. These are the newest second generation antipsychotic that have weak D2 blocking but potent 5-hydroxytryptamine 2 antagonistic activity. Extrapyramidal side effects are minimal and they tend to improve the impaired cognitive function in psychosis. So here you can see that this is the second generation antipsychotic which basically block the D2 and 5-HT2 receptor. D2 blocking capacity is low, but 5-HT blocking capacity is high. Clozapine is an antipsychotic action is likely mediated through a combination of the antagonistic effect at D2 receptor in the mesolimbic pathway and 5-HT2A receptor in the frontal cortex. D2 antagonism relieves the positive syndrome, while 5-HT2 antagonism elevates the negative symptoms. Pharmacokinetic clozapine is metabolized by the CYP1A2, CYP2C19 and CYP3A4 into active and inactive metabolite with an average T-half of 12 hours. Adverse effect are it's showing the black box warning for the agranulocytosis. High dose can induce the seizure even in non-epileptic. Other side effects are sedation, unstable blood pressure, tachycardia, urinary incontinence, weight gain and precipitation of the diabetes. Therapeutic uses, it is used as a reserve drug in refractory schizophrenia. Then there is another drug risperidone. Here you can see that risperidone which is mainly act on the 5-hydroxytryptamine 2A dopamine receptor, alpha 1 receptor, alpha 2 receptor and H1 histamine receptor. By blocking this receptor, it will decrease the psychotic syndrome in a particular patient. Main mechanism is combination of the D2 and 5-HT2 receptor blocking activity. In addition, it has high affinity for alpha 1, alpha 2 and H1 receptor. Blockade of this may contribute to the efficacy as well as side effect like postural hypotension. Risperidone is more potent D2 blocker than clozapine. Extrapyramidal side effects are less only at low dose. Prolactin level rise during the risperidone therapy, but it is less epileptogenic than clozapine. Contraindication increase the risk of stroke in the elderly. Toxicity symptom of the overdose include the lethargy, dystonia, spasms, tachycardia, bradycardia and seizure. Then olanzapine, these are also act on the D2, 5-HT2A receptor, 5-HT2C receptor, muscarinic M3 receptor and H1 receptor. So by binding to the H1, it's show the sedative as well as weight gain, and by binding to the M3, it will help to the weight gain. And so these are the we are considering as an adverse effect. The activity of the olanzapine is achieved by the antagonism of multiple neuronal receptor, include the dopamine receptor, D1, D2, D3 and D4 in the brain, and the serotonin receptor 5-HT2A, 5-HT2C, 5-HT3 and 5-HT6, the alpha 1 adrenergic receptor, the histamine receptor and multiple muscarinic receptor. This olanzapine also act on this receptor also. Half-life is 21 to 54 hours, metabolized by the CYP1A2 and CYP2D6. Therefore, inhibitor of the CYP1A2 fluvoxamine and ciprofloxacin and CYP2D6 paroxetine can increase the level. Smoking is an CYP1A2 inducer and can decrease the level of olanzapine. Quetiapine, although the mechanism of action of quetiapine is not fully understood, several proposed mechanisms are exist there. In schizophrenia, its action could occur from the antagonism of the dopamine type 2 and serotonin 5-HT2A receptor blocking, In bipolar depression and major depression, quetiapine's action may be attributed to the binding of this drug to its metabolite to the norepinephrine, norepinephrine transporter. Additional effect of the quetiapine include the uh, somnolence, orthostatic hypotension, and anticholinergic effect may result from the antagonism of the H1 receptor, adrenergic alpha 1 receptor, and muscarinic M1 receptor respectively. Adverse effects are quiet sedation, postural hypotension, urinary retention, weight gain, and rise in the blood sugar are infrequent. It is metabolized mainly by the CYP3A4 and can interact with the macrolides, antifungal and anticonvulsant, etc. Used benefit a negative symptom of the schizophrenia but can be used in the manic and bipolar disorder. Then we come to the other second generation antipsychotic drug, uh, aripiprazole. It is the agonist of D2 and 5-HT1 receptor but antagonist of the 5-HT2 receptor. It is minimally sedating, may even causes the insomnia, metabolized by the CYP2D6 and CYP3A4. Adverse drug reaction are nausea, dysphagia, constipation and light headache, hyperprolactemia and hypotension, and QT prolongation are not frequent. Ziprasidone D2 5-HT2A 2C and plus H1 and alpha 1 receptor blocking activity. Efficacy in schizophrenia has been related equivalent to the haloperidol. And aminosulpride, that is congener of sulpride, a typical antipsychotic, high affinity to the D2 and D3 receptor and has low affinity for the 5-HT2 receptor, not non-sedative. And zotapine D1, D2 and 5-HT2 alpha 1 receptor blocking activity. It also inhibits the noradrenaline reuptake. Both positive and negative symptoms of the schizophrenia appear to be benefited by this drug. It has lowered the seizure threshold. Adverse drug reaction are weight gain and hyperglycemia. So in general, what are the adverse effect of the second generation antipsychotic drug? That is the postural hypotension, dry mouth, sexual abnormalities or disorder, arrhythmia, urine retention, extrapyramidal syndrome, sedation, seizure, and weight gain. These are the common adverse effect of the all second generation antipsychotic drug. So here up to this one we are talking about positive syndrome and negative syndrome. So what are the positive and negative syndrome? So positive syndrome means delusions, hallucination and disorganized speech, and negative syndrome are flattened affect, reduced speech and lack of initiative. So these are the positive and negative syndrome which will develop in the schizophrenia, like not only in schizophrenia, like other type of the psychotic disorder also. So whatever in whole thing we are discussing about the positive and negative syndrome, these are the positive and negative syndrome, and the drug acting both positive and negative syndrome minimize the psychiatric disorder and also minimize the normalize the schizophrenic patient to the environmental condition, so that he can survive or he can maintain his normal life to the environment on healthy work life and healthy family life he or she can maintain. So these are the typical antipsychotic drug which are used for the like different psychotic disorder and schizophrenia. So these are the sources from where I am collecting the data, and this is the thing, and thank you all.